Imagine this for a second. A massive company, a name you know, is suddenly on the verge of total collapse. We're talking billions and billions of dollars in debt. How do you possibly save it? Well, today we're going inside India's high-stakes corporate rescue mission to look at the playbook that changed everything, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, or as everyone calls it, the IBC.
It's a huge question, right? And honestly, before 2016, India didn't have a great answer. The whole process for dealing with a failing company was just a mess. It was this slow, painful ordeal that usually ended up destroying the company's value instead of saving it. But then, the country decided to just tear up the old rulebook and start fresh.
And this slide really gets to the heart of it. We went from the old way, this broken system that, believe it or not, actually favored the company owners who got into trouble in the first place, to something completely different. The IBC totally flipped the script. It put the creditors, the people who are actually owed the money, in the driver's seat. And, maybe most importantly, it put a giant ticking clock on the whole thing.
So to really get why this was such a game changer, we have to understand just how bad things were. Before 2016, India was basically staring down a massive corporate debt crisis, and the old laws just weren't cutting it.
Okay, so let's be super clear on what the IBC actually is. Think of it as the official playbook for this entire rescue mission. Its #1 job is to solve financial distress fast. And the key to doing that was a massive power shift, taking control away from the company's original management and handing it over to the lenders and banks, the creditors.
Now, any successful rescue operation needs a solid plan and a very clear chain of command. The IBC gives us exactly that. It lays out all the rules, the key players, and what their jobs are with almost military-like precision. So let's break down that command structure.
These are basically the new rules of engagement. First, and this is the big one, creditor and control. The lenders call the shots, not the old management. Simple as that. Second, everything is about speed. The time-bound process means no more dragging things out for years. And maybe the most critical point, the main goal here isn't to just sell the company for scrap metal. Value maximization means the mission is to save the business, keep it running, all managed by independent pros in a totally open and fair process.
So here's what that power structure looks like in practice. Right at the top, you've got the financial creditors. We're talking banks, big financial institutions. They are literally mission control. They get to vote on the final rescue plan. Then you have operational creditors, guys like suppliers or even employees. They're important, but their voting rights are pretty limited. And the original company, the corporate debtor, they're on the sidelines. Management loses all control the second the mission starts.
Now we get to what might be the most powerful, most radical part of the IBC, its obsession with time. There is a hard deadline. And it's not a suggestion, it's the law. The whole rescue mission, from start to finish, has to be done inside a 330-day countdown.
Let's walk through this race against time. Day 0, boom, the clock starts the moment the court says go. By day 30, a new commander, the resolution professional, is in and has taken total control. By day 90, the call for help goes out, looking for potential rescuers. By day 180, those rescue plans better be on the table. Then the creditors have until day 270 to vote on the best one. And if there's no deal by the final deadline of day 330, mission over. The company gets liquidated. Every single day matters.
So you can really boil that whole crazy race down to 4 key phases. Phase 1, admission. You secure the company and get new leadership in place. Phase 2, information. Basically sending out an SOS to the market to find rescuers. Phase 3, submission. This is when the serious buyers show their cards. And finally, Phase 4, approval. The ultimate thumbs up or thumbs down from mission control, the creditors. It's structured, it's logical, and it is incredibly intense.
Okay, so all this theory is great, but does it actually work in the real world? Oh yeah. Let's look at one of the biggest IBC success stories out there, the rescue of Bhushan Steel. This case really shows you the raw power of the IBC when it's put into action. First, you have to appreciate the size of this problem. Bhushan Steel wasn't just in a little trouble. It was drowning under 56,000 crore rupees of debt. That's over $7 billion US. A default this big could have rocked the entire Indian banking system. This was a really big deal.
And then, the rescue. Another giant of the industry, Tata Steel, came in and acquired the company with a plan worth 35,200 crore rupees. And this wasn't just picking over the bones. Thanks to the IBC framework, this was a massive, structured takeover designed to save the business itself.
So what did that mean for the banks who were owed all that money? They got back about 63% of what they were owed.
Now you might hear that and think, wait, that's not 100%. But you have to understand, before the IBC, those banks would have been lucky to get 20, maybe 25 cents on the dollar. And that's after fighting in court for years. Getting 63% back and getting it quickly, that was a massive, massive win. It was proof that this new system could work.
But the success here was about so much more than just the money. Crucially, the country didn't lose that steelmaking capacity. Over 5,000 people got to keep their jobs. That's huge. And the whole thing just proved that, yes, India's biggest banks could actually work together and get a great result for everybody.
So this entire process has accidentally created something else, a really fascinating and very high-risk, high-reward playground for investors. For people in the know, the IBC isn't just some law. It's a marketplace for companies in trouble, with some pretty unique opportunities.
So if you're an investor, how do you play this game? Well, you've got a few main options. You can go big and try to be the resolution applicant, buying the whole company like Tata Steel did. Or you could play it more tactically. You could buy up the company's debt, which gets you a seat at the table with the creditors and a vote on the outcome. Or you could be even more specific and just target certain valuable assets you want from the company.
But, and this is a really big but, for all that opportunity, the risks are enormous. That ticking clock can be your worst enemy. Delays kill value. The very assets you want to buy could be falling apart while everyone argues. Even if you win, someone can drag you into court. You might get into a bidding war that makes the whole thing too expensive. And maybe the biggest risk of all, actually taking over that broken company and trying to fix it, that's the final boss.
So there's no question the IBC has completely reshaped India's corporate world. It's a powerful tool for revival, saving businesses and jobs that would have been lost, but it's also created one of the most intense, high-stakes games in modern finance. And that kind of leaves us with a big question to chew on. Is the IBC a perfect system designed to heal companies, or is it just the most exciting, high-stakes financial game in town right now?